Hey everyone, welcome back to Cody Tarot. I'm your tarot reader, Cody. So for today's pick a card, we are going to be doing a pretty straightforward one. What will happen with your crush? So if you're curious or you have a crush on someone or you like someone right now or you kind of have your eye on somebody, we're going to be going over what will happen in the dynamic between you guys. I'm going to be filming these similar to the celebrity readings that I do, at least in the same format, with you on one side and the other person on the other side, your crush on the other side. So we're basically going to be discussing how you both come together in this connection. Or if you do come together, what's going to happen to you guys on an individual basis while you're kind of attracted to them or as you encounter them or engage with them. This is also a good reading, or could be a good reading to know how things are going to play out. This might help you decide if you want to approach your crush or not. For those of you who are debating that issue. So yeah, I'm really excited for this reading. Really excited to get into it. So let's get into crystal selection. So if you've already picked your crystal, that's fine. I'm going to show, for some people, I'm going to hold each one up and show them the crystals right now. So we have blue Aragonite. Then our next crystal is Snakeskin Agate. Our third crystal is Candle Quartz. And our fourth and last crystal is Heliodor. So take all the time you need to pick your crystal. You can pause the video here if you need to. And without further ado, let's get into the reading, starting with group number 1, the blue Aragonite. Hey, pile 1, this is if you picked the blue Aragonite. So let's get into your reading. First, I'm going to draw an animal oracle card, one for you and one for them. Might move this over to here, actually. So let's get an animal oracle card to represent group 1. You're coming out as the whale. And an animal oracle card to represent their crush. This one did not want to go back in the deck, so I'm going to take this. We have crocodile. I'm also going to pull 2 love story messages to represent kind of the dynamic going on. So we have hope and support. Then we're going to draw some Lightseer's tarot cards. I cannot recommend this deck enough. If you are a tarot reader and you're looking for a good deck, this deck, I'll show you the artwork. I don't know why I feel called to show you guys this deck. I've had it on my channel before, but feel called to recommend it to this group for some reason. Okay, let's see. Let's draw a couple cards. And I think I'm going to draw 2 cards for the middle. That way we just have a vibe on kind of like, put those up there. Okay. Let's flip over your cards. For your side of the energy, we have the King of Cups reversed. We have the Page of Wands reversed. And we have the Five of Wands upright. And for their energy, we have the Four of Cups upright, the Chariot upright, and the Page of Cups upright. Wow, okay. So let me get into this reading. So at first glance, it seems very beautiful and like therapeutic. So let's get into that. So first of all, with the whale and the crocodile cards, first and foremost, we have two water element. So I'll show you these two triangles right here. Two water element triangles on both cards, indicating kind of like an easy way of communicating or a way of kind of being able to talk naturally. For most of you, this crush is someone that you already are in communication with. You talk to them quite frequently. And it's interesting, for others of you that haven't started talking to this person yet, I see that once you start talking with them or you do start talking with them, the communication flows very nicely. It's interesting. It's like you guys are both very similar yet different at the same time. So you're similar in ways that you're both intuitive, you're both psychic in your own ways. Although I would tell you first off that you have more psychic abilities than this other person does. That I'm seeing with the whale. The whale is such a deep sea diver and it's such a large creature and it can migrate all over the world, you know? This whale energy is just reminding me of like deep unconscious psychic dreams. So I definitely see that you're really in tune with your intuition. We also have a lot of color in the whale card. With the crocodile, not so much color. But in the whale, we have blues, greens, and yellows. So I'm definitely seeing like throat, heart, and third eye chakra probably is something that's active in your life right now. Or even when you get with this person, you start feeling those things more frequently. So for example, when you're around this person, you might talk more, or you might communicate more. You might feel more open and loving and heart-centered. You might maybe are more of a tougher person on the outside, or just tend to be lately, you have been. But when you're around this person, your heart kind of melts and you get really soft and kind of vulnerable and fragile. At the same time though, that's not to understate with the yellows in this card that there's a sense that your willpower is kind of set and determined in this situation, that you kind of have your sights set on this person. And especially with this person, especially we see with this person with the Chariot card over here with them, this little bit of willpower actually gets them more stimulated as well in the future of the connection. One thing I'm seeing right off the bat with crocodile is this person is more of a predator animal. We have a predator kind of prey situation, but it's not quite exactly that way. There's just a sense that you're in a sense more larger than life, or you have this ability to kind of perceive yourself or show off that you're bigger than you actually are. There's something about your presence being larger than life or something like that. There's something about your personality too, that you just have such a big personality, big ebullient kind of personality. And it's interesting because when you first meet this person, it shows that you're a little shy or you feel emotionally a little unstable at first when you're around this person. And that's mainly because with the Four of Cups card, they don't seem to notice you at first. They're kind of like bored and you try to offer them activities, or you're trying to get them to go out places, or you're trying to offer them certain things to do. And with the Four of Cups here, we see that this crocodile person doesn't really accept those offers quite readily. They're kind of blowing you off or ignoring you at first in the beginning of the connection. And it's interesting because we see with their eager eyes looking right over at you that they're kind of attracted to you. They're into you. So there's some reason why they're just kind of not accepting your offers. I think they could be playing hard to get, or they could just be busy. Like with the Chariot card right here, I definitely see someone with a lot of willpower and motivation. So that could be something that they're kind of busy. They might kind of, in a way, see you as, like, usually crocodiles, I feel like, wouldn't take on a whale. You know, the whale's such a large creature, the crocodile's going to take on smaller prey, right? So this person's probably more attracted to more easy targets, I guess you could say, in love. Like, this person definitely has an eye out for situations like that. They're definitely kind of have that hunter mentality going on inside when they're looking for a partner. They're definitely checking out their surroundings, looking, checking, you know, like seeing who's available, and they just don't kind of take you into account. But I see though, however, with the Hope card, you realize this connection with this person, that you guys are both intuitive, you're both spiritual, you're both kind of like intense in the watery, intuitive realms. You guys might share a strong sense of feeling or simpatico with your feelings. And at the same time, I see with the King of Cups with this singing bowl here, it's causing you to vibrate at an uneasy rate or an uneasy pace, especially when they're turning down these kind of options for you. If you look at both of these cards, flip this one over just so you can see it. He has his finger on a singing bowl, right? And this person has a singing bowl and they're kind of like offering it to this woman right here, and she's not accepting it. So there's almost a sense that your feelings that you have given to this person, or you have let them see, or you are kind of trying to show them, are not reciprocated. They're kind of not acknowledging them. And it's interesting because on other levels, you see that you're so clearly compatible. And I definitely see that you have this kind of psychic ability to see those things. So even if they're not giving you that recognition, you have this psychic ability to see the long-term connection. And at least I want to point this out. You have the ability to see the long-term connection from their point of view. You can tell that they should be liking you. And that's kind of something with the hope card, that you hold out hope for this person as your potential person, as the one for you, because you know that they could like you in the long run. I do see this support card coming into play on their end pretty strongly. At some point or another, even if they're slow to kind of react to you with the Four of Cups, eventually they realize you're a solid support in their life, and there can be a solid support in your life. They realize you guys are more team players and you get along better in that way. I definitely see that this kind of motivates them into taking action. This might actually, when they realize this, they might have a flip in their character. They might have a flip in their motivations towards you, where with the Chariot card, they're very heavily motivated towards you, very engaging, very active, very fast-paced, very assertive. It's a very different kind of vibe than what we had initially with them. So they kind of jump into this area, or this component of the connection, where they're definitely more assertive. They have a lot more willpower. They might be doing things in their daily life, like taking care of their health better. And there's just something about, they kind of see clearly the path ahead and they're heading towards it. They're firing away, right? We see here with the Page of Wands, this is also something that kind of shocks you just a little bit. I'm definitely seeing that you go from one end of being kind of shocked or kind of introverted and thinking inside yourself that, you're unstable with your emotions. And then when they start being attracted to you, it's like you have this inner excitement. You have this inner excitement with this Page of Wands. She's just like jumping for joy and throwing this wand into the air, right? Like she's finally carefree. She finally got her manifestation. She finally got what she wanted, but it's still an internal card, meaning that there's still an aspect of you being kind of more shy or more introverted around this person, even though they're being more assertive towards you and they have that. But I definitely see that you guys kind of get this component with the hope and the support card, that you still have this hope for them. And because they like you now, it's kind of like it's proving that the fact that you're correct, right? It's proving the fact that your intuitions were correct, that they liked you, that there's a reason they liked you, all of that. I definitely see they warm up and start taking on a more assertive position, especially with the Chariot here. With this support card, you guys kind of become a team. You become team players. You work very well off of each other. You work very well and kind of in unison with each other. I think this is where more of these components of your talkative nature start to show and start to emerge, especially when we have the Page of Wands here. I think of children as, being more talkative, and specifically the Page of Wands I see as more of a talkative kind of child in a sense. So I definitely see this kind of childlike energy emerging from you with this talkative nature. Your heart, you're opening your heart. And with the solar plexus energy, it's also, you have this willpower. And I see that magnifies in them, they kind of absorb a little bit of your willpower, a little bit of your go-getter attitude, and it kind of amplifies here in the Chariot for them. They kind of realize that you're a sense of energy for them. It's like, I'm going to use a food analogy, but it's like the bigger the fish, the more energy you have after the meal or something like that. It's like they kind of realize that you're kind of like a catch, and they realize this large personality you have, this kind of larger than life aspect to you. They feed off of that energy and they really, really enjoy it. So your intuition's correct about them. They start to feed off your energy. They start to really, really enjoy it. And we get this sense of support and hope in the connection. Sorry, I had to take a quick break because there were sirens, and so I decided to stop the reading for a second, and now we'll continue on. Let's get to the very end of your guys' connection, or kind of as the relationship develops and you get closer. I see here that for you, the interesting thing here is your feelings actually how do I put this? You stop liking this connection in the ultimate long run. Like there's something about this connection or this person that you kind of grows, how do I put this? Not tiresome, because I definitely see they challenge you to new heights. This kind of motivation is still prevalent throughout the entire reading, especially because it's the only major arcana card. There's just such a strong sense of motivation with the support here. There's a strong sense of teamwork. They push you to new limits. They push you to new, engage in new activities, basically. And they get you to compete with those around you. That's the kind of thing. They're kind of pushing you and saying like, well, don't you want to be better than this person? Or don't you want to be better than that person? Don't you want to reach the top? Don't you want to achieve this or that? So this person definitely takes on this attitude, and they almost get consumed by it in a sense. They take more control over their supporting role with you. And in a sense, they try to be that motivating factor for you. So depending on who you are watching this reading, you may or may not like that, but this person's definitely going to get you to, the thing is, you may not want to compare yourself to others, but this person's definitely kind of showing you this way of like comparing yourself to others, you know, using other people as like benchmarks and stepping stones to getting ahead, you know, kind of like seeing that other people can be an example for you and how your life can live out. So depending on how motivated you feel or want your life to be, this person might be a good person for you, but if you're not looking for that kind of like motivation, I'm definitely seeing that this connection could go, it's different there's different people watching this. So I feel like for some people watching this, they want to be that kind of have that outside external motivation and kind of stay motivated in that way. And then for other people watching this, they kind of don't like that energy. So I'm definitely seeing that you kind of this is kind of like a make or break time right here at towards the end when you guys kind of settle into your personalities. It's kind of showing these two cards how the relationship applies over the long haul, or how when you guys finally get to know each other and you really are comfortable with each other, that's what these two cards indicate. I definitely see with them, when they're comfortable with you, they really, really enjoy your company. With the Page of Cups here, they're constantly surprised by you. They're constantly seeing new things about you. They're in awe of the universe. Their psychic abilities kind of takes a unique turn, and they get this kind of childlike curiosity about the intuitive world, right? So if at first your intuition seemed at odds, they're going to be coming more in tune with your intuitive vibe, basically. I just see it all depends totally on if you want to feel like pushed and prodded or compared to others in the long run. Because this can happen in a negative way. I'm seeing it both ways, where it can happen in a positive ways for some of you, but some of you might take it in a way where if they're pushing you to kind of compare yourself to others, you might not like that in the long run. You might want to be viewed more as an individual, a unique person, compared to being compared with other people who are in your same department of life, basically. They have so much fun with you though, like especially in the long run. They're slow to warm up. They're slow to get the action going. And I definitely think that's one of the things that is like incompatible about both of you, even though it's a small incompatibility. Like for the most part, I'm seeing a strongly compatible relationship, like some strong developed feeling, something strongly developing between both of you. But there is the only thing I would say that's the incompatibility is you kind of want that recognition right away in the beginning of the relationship towards your person or towards who you are. Now, they, on the other hand, they're a little slower to engage. They're a little slower to react, but once they're in it, they're like fully in it. So I definitely see there might be something where you kind of are more in it in the beginning and then kind of fade away over time, and they're more like faded in the beginning and get closer over time. So there's something along those lines. I definitely see though that the middle of both of this is connection, right? Like both of you guys, when you guys are kind of coming towards each other and you're both kind of engaged with each other, that's the exciting time. That's the amazing time. That's the time that's really like beneficial for both of you. And even into the future of the relationship, even if this is not something that lasts romantically in the long run, or you kind of feel disconnected in the long run, I definitely see you guys working really well together. There's a strong sense of teamwork. There's a super strong sense of support. This person will be a solid support in your life for like many years to come. And with the Hope card, you were definitely correct in this. You were definitely correct that this person would like you over time. And that's the thing. You're not going crazy, right? This person with their kind of degaff or bored attitude, eventually they will grow attached to you the more you kind of engage with them. Yeah, and when you guys do interact with the two water signs right here, there is an easy flow of communication. There's a natural flow of communication. You guys talk about similar topics, similar interests. There's something about not having to stretch too hard to get on your partner's page. So there's a lot of good stuff coming in with that. So I hope you enjoyed this reading on what will happen with your crush. If you did like this reading, please feel free to like or comment below. If you really enjoyed this reading, feel free to subscribe to my channel. I post pick-a cards like this once every 1 to 2 weeks. With that said, we're going to move on to group 2 with the Snakeskin Agate. Thank you guys again for watching. Hey group 2, this is if you picked the Snakeskin Agate. I'm feeling some like fun kind of energy coming from this group. I don't know how to describe it. It feels like there's a whole bunch of people in my head like cheering or hooping and hollering or something like that. So I'm definitely excited to get into this reading just because of that kind of energy. So let's see what comes out for you guys. Let's get a card for you and a card for your crush. And we'll see what will happen with your crush. Let's see. Okay, so the one I saw right off the bat was the buffalo. And we need a card for your crush. I'm going to take this one. We have the black egg. Wow. Let's pull these over here. And then I'm going to get some love story oracle cards to represent your guys' connection. We have guarded over here. And for the black egg person, we have, let's see what card wants to come out. This one. We have open up. And pull those up there a little bit. Okay, and then we're going to pull 6 tarot cards to represent how you both are going to move towards each other and how this relationship will develop, or how this connection will develop. If it does develop, or if it doesn't develop, we'll see what happens. Yeah, I'm definitely feeling like people cheering or hooping and hollering. This message is coming through for some of you. Maybe you're watching this pick a card at like a house party or at a friend's house, and there's like a whole bunch of, stuff going on in the background, and you're kind of over on the sidelines just watching this pick a card with some headphones on or something like that. That's going to be probably for a rare few of you, because that's a pretty specific thing to think of. Okay, let's see. I'm going to pull on the bottom for the black egg person. And then one from the top, actually. Let's see. Okay. So over your tarot cards, that's what you got. We have the 8 of Wands on the buffalo side, 3 of Cups reversed. Oh my gosh, that's funny. 4 of Wands, totally party vibes. Okay, the 4 of Wands is all about celebrations and get-togethers. The 3 of Cups is all about like a group of friends, kind of. There is something going on with you. There's something about a party. There's some kind of information coming through where there's like hooping and hollering and like cheering and stuff. So maybe that resonates with some of you. For the black egg, we have the Knight of Cups. We have the Lovers. Wow. We have the 2 of Pentacles. Oh my gosh. Pile 2. All right. Okay. Let's get into your reading. So, wow. Wow. Okay. So let's see. Okay. So first of all, you're represented here by the buffalo. I'm really excited for this reading because it's very, very positive. So let's get into it. So you're represented here by the buffalo. They're represented over here by the black egg. First thing I want to point out is, usually I point out the elements on the top of the cards. We have the earth triangle and we have the spirit circle. So one thing I want to point out real quick about both of these cards is there is a sense that it's almost like no matter what angle you try to go out with this person, they're coming back at you with kind of like a way of being that is compatible, right? Because we have a spirit circle and we have the earth triangle, it's like you're very grounded in nature. You have a more grounded component to your being. I definitely see you're someone who's grounded, but also doesn't shy away from inspiration, like what we see in the lightning bolt in the background. With the Black Egg, this person is so adaptable to your energy. We see that again with the Two of Pentacles, which kind of is reminding me of adaptability, how the guy in the original card has to juggle all these things and kind of be adaptable to circumstances and kind of just take what comes up, you know? And with the Black Egg, this person is an excellent communicator. This person has a very seductive voice. There might be something about them that you actually really love about them based on their voice. Like maybe that's one of the reasons why you like them. And all these cards are trying to like tilt towards the Black Egg, right? So there's something so magnetic about their voice as well. There's something very magnetic, seductive, vocally seductive about them. The Black Egg is representative of the throat chakra. Another thing I'm seeing too there's a lot of red on their side, and then there's a lot of red and purple on your side, and red and purple in your card, and red and purple in this card. The only kind of green and blues I'm seeing are right and open up, which is interesting because I definitely see that's coming from their energy. So with Buffalo and Black Egg, the colors basically represent that your guys' crown chakras are both activated right now. And usually what happens with like relationships and stuff, maybe one person's crown's activated and the other person has a different area activated and they kind of like rubs off on each other. The thing with this connection is it's not like that. It's like both of you have a really activated crown chakra at this time. So things in life just seem to be happening very luckily for you, very serendipitously for you. And so when you ran into this person, it was kind of a serendipitous moment. And that's kind of how you're like feeling about it. You're just kind of like, wow, how lucky was it that I ran into this person? So this is not going to be someone you met in kind of like a boring way. This is going to be someone you kind of met in an interesting way where it kind of fell into place in the natural order. It could have been one of those things where you went along your day from like, 8 a.m. So you wake up at like 8 a.m. to like 3 p.m., right? And you're kind of going along your day and certain events are leading you to meet this person. It's kind of like it's all falling into place. And then at 3 p.m., you kind of have the moment where you meet them. Maybe before you meet them, your kind of mind is so active or something, and then you meet them and it's kind of like calms. It's like there's some kind of buildup and settling basically with this person. So it doesn't have to be that your mind is active. You could have had a calm mind beforehand or anything like that. That's just an example. But basically there's kind of like a buildup and a settling. And so when you met them, it was kind of like, it felt comfortable. It was like you had this moment where you just felt like you could ease into this person, right? Now, it's interesting because we also have the card guarded here and we have open up. So this is interesting because at first glance, you feel very comfortable around this person. On first meeting, you felt very collected around them. You felt like good. You felt comfortable, right? They're vocally seductive. Something about their voice makes you feel safe. And that's something that is very rare in relationships. But I think should be prized. And that's something that definitely like, this is a really solid connection. And that's like a really prized kind of thing in a relationship too, is like sometimes a physical feature can actually make us feel a certain way about a person. Sometimes someone's voice can make us feel like agitated or excited. Some other times people's voices can make us feel disturbed or pained. But this person's voice makes you feel safe. It is so comforting. It feels kind of like it comes from another world, basically. They're so vocally seductive, this person, so vocally seductive. One thing that I'm noticing with you is that you also are the type of person who accepts inspiration very easily. So if something in your life comes to you and it's like feels inspiring, for some of you, you might actually be an artist, but a very grounded artist that roots themselves in the earth, basically. There's something about with the buffalo kind of being a creature of abundance for like, the Native Americans, that there's something along the lines of you basically being able to provide a lot for others with your kind of inspiration or creativity, specifically as far as like your art is concerned. Like you might be an artist or a creative person that shares a lot with others or provides others with a lot of beautiful artwork. So you might be the type of person, especially with the 8 of Wands here, you might be having a lot of success in your business at the time that you meet this person. And so you might be selling a lot of product, you might be selling a lot of stuff, and so the thing is, I tend to read these cards as stuff that's happening now or has already happened when you met this person. So it's kind of like the energy is that you've just been kind of busy. You've been very active. Your manifestations have been coming true. And yes, if you don't have a business or you don't have a particular art that you're selling, you've been very inspired to create things. You've been feeling very artistic in general. And with the 8 of Wands here, it's like this stuff is coming down from heaven, the lightning bolts, the arrows, the wands. It's like all this stuff is coming out from the sky and you're kind of with your crown chakra, you're just kind of accepting it and dealing with it, and kind of making it one of these kind of like really you're turning it into something beautiful. So whether that is art or, maybe communications or film or anything like that, you're turning in these beautiful inspirations, these inspiring thoughts into something really gorgeous and beautiful. Now, it's interesting with guarded and open up, I do see kind of like a slight tension in the sense that I feel like you think this is too good to be true, or this person's too good to be true. There's something about just being slightly hesitant or guarded in this connection. And the thing is that's okay, because I feel like this person is naturally good at opening people up who've been hurt before. So with the shield and the barbed wire in the guarded card, I see that you are not that used to kind of just opening your heart right away. And the cards are saying, don't worry about it. It's okay. You can be guarded around this person. It's not like you have to, open your heart and be available and this person will come into your life. It's like, even though you're guarded around this person or you're closed off, that's kind of what this person is already naturally good at in a way. So they're going to be pretty good at opening you up as far as like kind of getting you to kind of see them in a better light, or see the relationship in a better light, or just getting to know each other. There might be a thing where with their voice, they're so soothing in their voice that you might just feel like telling them a lot of stuff right off the bat. But I'm definitely seeing with guarded, it's almost like one of those things where it's like you've had this shield up for so long, right? You've had this wall up for so long and protecting yourself from these other relationships. And now with this person, it's like, oh, I can let down my guard. I can let it down. But I feel like sometimes you'll still pull it back up. Even though it's going to feel natural to let it down, you'll still hold it back up because you're like, I don't want to reveal all that, or I don't want to be all that to someone, or I don't want to kind of get lost in the situation. I don't want to kind of, be prey to false hopes. I feel like you want to be kind of realistic. Like I said here, you're very grounded, you're very earthy. You want to be realistic in this connection. So I definitely see you have a lot of activity going on in your life. And with the black egg person, they have a lot of activity too going on in their life. But I definitely see they're the type of person who makes themselves busier than they need to be. And the best way to put that is that's kind of just what they're going through when they meet you. They might have a lot of times where when you guys first meet each other, you might be so busy in each other's respective lives that it might be hard to find time to kind of communicate or kind of deal with each other, basically. Or kind of like hang out, have fun, go on dates, all that stuff. So definitely with them, I'm seeing that the thing is with them, it's like they have so many responsibilities, but they almost need to learn how to realize they don't have as much as they think they have, right? They might be the type of person who kind of runs around from different place to place, kind of being busy, but not actually accomplishing too much. Or there might be something along the lines of the Two of Pentacles, where they're taking on a lot of responsibilities and balancing a whole bunch of things, but they don't necessarily need to. Things would basically run by themselves if they weren't involved, but they feel like they need to be involved to have all these things run on their own. So I think one thing that you might help them with the Buffalo card, especially representing abundance, is that, they don't have to do it all on their own. I definitely see that you might even want to help them out in some specific areas of their life, but they're definitely taking on a lot. But it's not that I'm trying to explain this the right way. It's not that they're taking on a lot. It's that they think they need to do more than they actually need to do. So that's what I'm seeing here with this, especially with this ghost bag right here. She has a regular bag that's, a real bag, and then she has this ghost bag. So there might be a sense of like thinking you have to be extra active or extra busy when there's no need to be. Hopefully I'm making my point with this card. If I feel like I'm talking around it, I feel like most of you are getting what I'm saying about this. But yeah, there's just something along the lines of like them being really busy, but they don't really have to be. So it's almost like it's kind of like a busyness they put on themselves. They don't really need to be that busy. They're just kind of taking on more responsibilities probably than they can, basically that they need to take on. Okay, let's get further into the reading. So I'm definitely seeing here with guarded and open up, there will be a kind of like period where you're kind of letting down your guard and opening up to them, but you're still kind of keeping your guard up, which is good because they kind of admire that about you in a way, because you're kind of protecting yourself, and they value that in people. They feel like people who kind of just throw themselves around and kind of get hurt are like careless with their emotions or their feelings. And so they like that you're kind of guarded. They like that you kind of don't expect the kind of reciprocal energy right off the bat. They're still gonna lead with their heart and their throat chakra. Even though this connection deals with other chakras in the long run, it's just during this phase of opening up, they're kind of leading with that kind of energy, with that kind of throat and heart chakra. Their voice is still pretty active. They are the black egg, which is representative of the throat chakra in this deck. So this person's going to be really vocally seductive. The thing that comes next in this connection with the Lovers and the Three of Cups, I definitely see this person feels like you guys can be 100% yourselves around each other. You can fully be together and not have any kind of, I'm seeing with Three of Cups too, represented like outside disturbances affect you guys. It's almost like you are all, you're so unified, right? And it's really quickly, right? It's not even the long-term end of the relationship, right? It's not even what happens long term, but pretty soon into it, pretty kind of after you guys have dealt with this kind of guarded opening up energy. With the Lovers card, you are solidified. I mean, I'm looking at how they're embracing each other and they're so close together. They're so close. Their hair's almost entwined in kind of like a circular fashion, making me think that like there's nothing that can break these two apart. You know, I'm getting such a strong sense of strength with this connection. And with Three of Cups, it's interesting because you will be having people trying to break you apart. And I see the Buffalo person, it's people on your end. I feel like in the past with you, if you're the Buffalo person, well, you are the Buffalo person if you came to this reading because this is your crush. But basically for you in the past, it's like you've had some friends try to interfere with your relationships, you know? You've had some friends try to get in the way or sabotage something going on. I definitely see you have some people who are jealous, jealous of your kind of connection, you know, and they envy it a little bit. With the Three of Cups reversed, this indicates three people hanging out, you know, and one not being happy with the connection of the other two, you know, and so I'm definitely seeing here, there's like an element where there's just someone who's like upset about this connection. So it's also the cards are urging you too to be gentle with this friend because they're really acting out of a place of fear and they're actually just scared of losing you, right? And the thing is, they don't know how wonderful this person is yet. They just see that you're connected and that you're kind of letting your guard down. And I feel like this friend was also someone who helped you build your guard up. You know, this friend was someone who kind of like made you kind of have a tougher shell and be like, you know, you don't need men or you don't need guys or you don't need, you know, a partner, you know, you don't need anyone to kind of like be with you. Like, you know, you just have me and your buddies and your, you know, your gal pals or whatever. And so I'm definitely seeing this person's a little envious because it's like, wow, they're in this connection now. And, you know, I tried to save them from heartbreak and all of this. And now they're just giving their heart away. They didn't really see the process that you both went through at the same time. So something about explaining that to them is going to be beneficial because I definitely see with the guarded and open up, you guys go through a specific dance of them unlocking certain areas of you and you opening up certain areas of yourself. You know, there's a very specific dance that goes on between both of you that really could have only happened with this person. You know, it's like they came in at the right time to get you kind of opening up your heart energy back up, basically. With the Lovers card, this card also indicates being able to fully reveal yourself 100% to your partner and then being fully able to reveal themselves 100% to you. No pretenses, no walls, just purely being yourself and then being themselves to you and having it work out. You know, that's kind of how I see the Lovers card. And so with this Three of Cups person, it might seem threatening to them, basically is all I'm trying to say. And so basically there might be a period where you either have to move away from your friends to be with this person for a while and kind of explore the relationship, or there might be some time where you feel like your friends are pulling you away from this connection and they might be saying some certain things that might sound a little negative at first because they are trying to kind of make sure you're not making a mistake, right? The thing is if they knew kind of the process you went through, if you shared this process of opening up and how they kind of proved themselves to you, that would be something that they would like to hear because then they could start to believe and have faith in this person. Your friends are just being really protective, right? Oh, maybe a little jealous, you know, jealous, right? But you know, they probably have the best interest for you. It's just indicating that three's a crowd, basically saying that if it was you two and this friend in the same room, it would be disaster because the friend would start picking at this person and this person would, you know, start trying to like having to work to like please the friend and stuff. And so it wouldn't be that good. It's better if you deal with this friend separately, I'm seeing. So just something to keep in mind if you decide to pursue this crush. With the Knight of Cups and the Four of Wands, there's like a really cool element here where when you guys get together in the future, in the far long future, there's something about just partying and celebrations and having a good time. Like I see both of you hosting a lot of parties, going to a lot of parties, just having a blast. Like with these two women kind of dancing here, one with the tambourine, and there's this big party tent with the tiki torches in the background, and there's like, I imagine there's like music, and you know, with this Knight of Cups, I definitely see a lot of romantic dates, but romantic dates to places that are like celebratory, right? You guys might go to a lot of concerts together or music festivals or something like that. With the Four of Wands here, the Four of Wands can also be a card about marriage. It can represent marriage. So I definitely see that in the future. I mean, this is one of those connections where I could see that for sure. With the Knight of Cups, it's like you have this they have this element to them as they kind of continue to get to know you, where they get more and more romantic over time. Like you may have thought they were a little bit more romantic here or something, or they've seemed romantic to you, but over time they really do the most for you. They really want to take care of you. You know, with the Knight of Cups also being about messages, they might write you love letters. What I'm seeing here, if you can look at the very bottom of that card right there, there's like a little right down there. There's like a little envelope, a little love letter. And I'm definitely seeing how this guy has wings on his shoes. You guys might feel like you're lighter than air around each other. Really, when you get to this point in the connection, it's just all fun and games. It's just a blast. I definitely see you guys kind of really just having a really fun time. And like I mentioned, I don't know why, with this pile, I keep hearing people at a party. There's something about parties or celebrations, kind of like when I started this group, I remember hearing all these kinds of like voices and people talking and stuff like that, and just having a good time at this kind of like kickback or celebration. The thing I'm imagining in my mind is like this house party or something like that. So you guys might throw a lot of parties at your house or something like that. They're really going to do the most for you. They really care about you. And this person is just like head over heels. I mean, they brought the roses. They have the little debonair hat. They rode in on the white horse. Like this person is the real deal. Wow, what a great reading. Very intense, very good energy for this pile. Yeah. Wow, I'm very happy for you guys. This sounds like a really good person to meet. I definitely see things progressing. The only thing I'd be concerned about is the friend, right? And then also the guarded energy. It's okay to let down your guard with this person. The fact that you can hear in their voice that you'll be safe, that's kind of a strong indication that you will be safe. Very cool. If you like this reading, you can like or comment below. If you really enjoyed this reading, please feel free to subscribe to my channel. We're always welcoming new subscribers here at Cody Tarot. With that said, I'm going to move on to the third group with the candle quartz. Thank you again for letting me read for you. You guys had an amazing reading today. You should be very happy. Bye. Hey, group 3. This is if you picked the candle quartz. So let's get into your reading with what will happen with your crush. I'm gonna pull 2 animal oracle cards, one for you and one for them. Hold on, give me 1 second. I'm gonna get a sip of water. Okay, yeah, so let's get an oracle card for the candle quartz for what will happen with your crush. For people who picked the candle quartz. We have the lizard card for you, representing you, and then we need a card to represent their crush. Making a really strong shuffle. Let's get a card to represent their crush. Okay, this one does not want to go back into the deck, so we have the crow. Okay, let's get a love story oracle for both of you. We'll get 1 card for each of you to represent your energies in the connection before we pull out the tarot cards for how it will progress. The connection will progress. This card wants to come out for the lizard, forgiveness. What card wants to come out for the crow? We have respect. Interesting. Now we're going to pull some light seers cards draw from the middle for the crow. Okay, let's flip over your tarot cards and see, I'm gonna put this right over here and see what you guys have got. We have the Magician in reverse, the Five of Cups in reverse, and the Wheel of Fortune upright. And for the crow, we have the Moon in reverse, the Three of Wands in reverse, and the Ace of Pentacles upright. Very interesting reading. Okay, so let's get into it. We'll start with some basics. With Lizard and Crow, you guys are opposites in a sense, in a positive way, right? We have a fire triangle and an air triangle up here, indicating that you guys will work well together as far as taking on opposite roles. But it's interesting. It's at a way that you probably wouldn't expect. And so how I'm seeing this play out, and this is one of those readings too, where it's interestingly enough, if you kind of learn from this reading and then you take from it later, it won't play out this way because it's like the reading's already, you already have the reading, you know, it's like it could play out differently, you know? So yeah, so let me just explain kind of what the energy is, and then I'll kind of show you how this connection is actually really, really beneficial, but not in the way that you expect. So first, with the Lizard card here, you're kind of in this state where you're like not sure when to act or when to progress forward towards this person, but there's something about this crow person that you're focused on, or that you're kind of attracted to, mainly because they're coming out of this period of their life where they had a lot of anxiety, but they're coming free of it. They're becoming free of it. So there's something about them also revealing themselves to the world. This crow person might kind of starting to be showing their true nature to others, or showing their true colors to others. Something about this orb they're holding on to kind of represents their inner light, and the fact that it's outside of their body shows that it's like attracting all these people. And what we see here with the lizard, all these colors in the scales, right? The scales are kind of this element that's kind of like shiny, like a shiny surface, almost like a mirror, and it reflects back that energy, right? So one thing that's interesting, and what the crow person finds fascinating about the lizard person right off the bat, is that the lizard person is literally reflecting the positive energy this crow person is pushing out. So the lizard person feels it, absorbs it, just like the sun's rays, right? Just like the sun's rays to get warmth. You know, the lizard is a cold-blooded animal. And then basically it projects that outward. And the crow kind of notices it. The crow kind of notices like, whoa, that's my inner light being reflected at me. Now, the crow person, I'm going to tell you, this person that you're attracted to is very wise, very intelligent, very smart. They just got out of a really tough situation in their life, and they have a lot of wisdom right now. So they're definitely in the place where they kind of know what they want and how they're going to get it, right? They're definitely pretty advanced on that kind of level. So I'm definitely seeing with the crow person, they also have this sense of kind of freedom about them. They want their freedom. They want to kind of fly wherever they want to fly and do what they want to do, you know? That's really not something that I see worrying you too much. I feel like you would let them kind of have their ability to be free, but at the same time, they're also aware of all of these components, on how to proceed next in life. The crow also kind of is represented, if I'm not mistaken, the crow's represented in this deck as the past, present, and future. So this crow person has just gotten out of a sticky situation with the moon reverse and is onward to the next thing in their life, the next thing in their future. They easily see what's next on their path, and they have a good idea of where they want to go and how they want to get there. Now, it's interesting, with the lizard person, I see you're a little hesitant to act, a little hesitant to make your move. The crow person also, with the crow and the lizard, I'm definitely seeing a predator-prey thing, where this person's usually the person who you would kind of, as the lizard person, would want them to make the move on you, right? Because they would be the one kind of making their assertion move on you, and you kind of playing the coy one, right? But I'm definitely seeing they're not kind of taking that action, so you're kind of concerned. You're like, I'm kind of attracted to them, but what are they, you know, what's their deal? What are they doing? We see here with the Magician reversed, you're in this kind of energy where it's interesting. It's like you wanted to manifest a person in your life, and so you've been thinking about manifesting someone, but with the Magician in reverse, this can show kind of like a false manifestation. And what do I mean by that? This can indicate, how do I put this? This can indicate getting what you want, but it's not what you want. It's almost like what you truly want is it's going to manifest later down the line. This is kind of like I don't want to say test from the universe because it's not like that. It's just, this is something you're mistaking for your manifestation, right? It seems so close to what you manifested, so close to what you wanted, so you put a lot of faith in it, right? It's like they have this attribute that you wanted in this manifestation. You also wanted to manifest this in a person. They have this attribute, you know? There's something about them being totally your physical type, someone you're really attracted to as well. But with the magician here, it just represents a sense of imposter syndrome. Like when you're around this person, you don't really truly feel like yourself, but it's because you have these feelings for them. It's because there's this kind of unspoken tension between you and them. And it's quite interesting how this all plays out. Because literally right here in the Five of Cups and the Three of Wands, we do see you making a move eventually towards them and kind of asking them out, and them in a way turning you down. With the Three of Wands, I'm definitely seeing there's this element that they're kind of just telling you that you're not the type of person they're looking for. And I definitely see that kind of hurts a little bit. And with the Five of Cups, it's interesting. You almost go into this mode where you're like, okay, it doesn't hurt me. Like, I didn't really, like, oh, I don't need, it's almost like you're not processing the pain in a sense. With the Five of Cups can all represent like letting yourself be pessimistic, like letting yourself be down on yourself. And with it being in reverse, it's like you're trying to see the bright side too readily, if that makes sense. Yeah, I see that it really hurts you kind of. And it's interesting, maybe for some of you, because I was seeing that this kind of can play out differently if you know ahead of time. Maybe some of you watching this reading are already at the point where you've asked them out and you're kind of in that processing stage, like, well, what do I do? Or how does this connection make sense? Or how does it process itself out, you know? And so what I'm seeing here with the Five of Cups, it's like you need to kind of like, it's almost like a sense of like, the cards are urging you basically to kind of let yourself decompress, right? Let yourself be a little negative. Let yourself express some negativity. Let yourself share some of those feelings, like share with a close friend or a partner or something, or someone that like is in your life that you really trust and care about, like maybe a family member, you know, someone that you really like can let those feelings out around, right? And let yourself express those and let yourself express your disappointment, because I definitely see that that's part of this healing process that kind of brings you guys together later in a really collaborative and creative and cool way. Yeah, I see with them with the Three of Wands, they're just kind of waiting for their wave to come, right? With this surfer chick, that like, let me show you this card. They're kind of just waiting for their wave to come, and they know in the reverse that you're not the correct wave for them. Like I said, they went through a lot with this moon card, and now that this moon card's in reverse, they've cleared a lot up. They know a lot about themselves. They went through a kind of like a shadow part of themselves, you know, and they kind of came out the other end. So that's why you're attracted to them. And they are really, they kind of don't realize they hurt you at the same time. When they turn you down, they don't realize that they hurt you that bad, or that you had a crush on them that was more intense than, you know, they thought it was, basically. And so one of the things that I'm seeing is, you know, like when you talk to this person about it, or when you let these emotions out, you kind of realize like, you know, this person's not bad. What they actually said to me wasn't that bad. You know, it's just, you don't want to act like that too soon. You don't want to think like, oh, that wasn't bad, and kind of try to brush over it too quickly, right? You have to have the grieving process, right? Five of Cups in reverse talks about not being able to grieve fully, and you want to have that grieving process. So basically with the forgiveness card, this is kind of where the Five of Cups is kind of you doing the optimistic thing. You're kind of saying like, you know, this person wasn't that bad. I guess they turned me down, but you know, it's not the end of the world. I still kind of enjoy their company, you know, or I still kind of respect them. They're not that bad of a person. You know, respect is interesting coming through here, because I definitely see they really respect you. For some of you, this is coming through. Some of you might even tell them like, hey, you really hurt me, you know, or I didn't expect that to hurt that much, you know, but it did. And I feel bad, but I really do respect you. And hopefully we can move on from this. You know, I definitely see that they're in such an evolved space where they will want to move on with you and kind of develop kind of a friendship. I'm seeing that here with the Ace of Pentacles representing a friend, but I'm also seeing this sense of a seed, right? There's something that happens, right, to them, and they realize they kind of, as smart as they are, right, because I was mentioning how smart they are and how kind of in tune they are, as smart as they are, they overlooked something about you that they need you on their path. There was actually a reason you're both meant to be brought together. If they would have done their job, I'm like being mean to them now. I'm not trying to be mean to them, but if they would have done their job and been the kind of predator to the prey situation that this was required, they would have realized they needed you for a practical project or a business idea, right? There's something about business coming in and then your luck turning around, and you guys kind of realize in the long run that you work really well together. Yeah, with respect, they're going to have such a deep respect for you by the time all of this is over. I feel like how you process your emotions and how you talk to them about it, it's really going to make them kind of like look at you in a new way. And with the way you're kind of, forgiveness is interesting because I recently was working on a forgiveness meditation for myself, and they're very powerful in the sense that you can sit and you can forgive people for what they've done to you. You know, you just sit in silence and quiet, kind of take a few deep breaths and kind of really get into a clear headspace and kind of let yourself forgive people who've like wronged you or hurt you in the past. That can be another way that you get over this grieving process. Yeah, I definitely see your luck changes and they kind of take a turn towards you and they kind of approach you again. So it's interesting, even after you approach them or you tell them like, you know, this hurt me or whatever, or, you know, but I still want to be friends or whatever. If you keep it amicable, I definitely see that they come back to you with this business project, and it really helps you in the future because this is more far future energy. They might come back to you with like a concept or an idea or something they want to work on, and they might want your advice or help with it. So with the wheel, I definitely see this as a period of your life where you're really lucky. You might actually in the future get this kind of a reading that you might get one of those tarot readings where it's like your ex is coming back, but really what's happening is that it's kind of like a person you liked coming back, and they're kind of just trying to get this idea and work out this project, this business project with you. It's also interesting that you have the Ace of Pentacles here, which can represent giving money or a gift. So this person might have a job opportunity for you in the future or something like that. Or there's something about collaborative working in a collaborative setting or working on a career project together or something like that. Yeah, it will fall into its natural place, even though basically there's a period where you do get rejected by them. I'm definitely seeing that they start to become the more assertive one over time and and this is only if you want it, right? If you feel too hurt by this and you haven't processed those feelings, it's not the right time for this kind of connection to come into play, right? That's where you're still going to be in this period where you need to process those feelings. But I definitely see once those feelings are processed and you have fully let go of the hurt and the pain, this person does come back in the long run and they kind of offer you this proposal or business project or want to work with you on something. I'm trying to see if I see anything else. Yeah, it really, like when they come back into the picture with this Ace of Pentacles card, it really clears up a lot of confusion because there's someone who really does know what they want. And because you kind of approach them in this kind of like, this is where the reading comes into play, like I mentioned at the beginning, where it can change if you're thinking of this in a different way, right? This is kind of a situation where they didn't really see who you were, your potential, or what you could offer them in this business realm, or how you could fit into their life, basically, because you kind of approach them romantically. But in this situation, if you kind of don't approach them romantically, it's interesting. They kind of come and see you anyway in the later down the road. And so it kind of, you skip this step a little bit and they kind of will see you and kind of offer you a business project or a business proposal, So there's something about like working together or working really well with this person or something about a working relationship coming to fruition. Very cool. So if you guys enjoyed that reading, feel free to like or comment below. If you really enjoyed this pick a card, please feel free to subscribe to my channel. We're always welcoming new subscribers here at Cody Tarot. With that said, we're going to move on to the last group 4 with the Heliodor. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate your time and energy. Hey, Pile 4, you picked the Heliodor. Yeah, it rhymed. I was gonna take it. Anyway, it's I'm filming in the daytime and it's bright and sunny and there's things like sirens and cars pulling up and stuff like that. So there's a lot of fun stuff in this reading, or that we've seen in other readings. I'm trying to cut it all out, but we'll see how it goes. You're the last pile, so you get my little vent for the day. Let's get into your reading though. We're gonna pull an animal oracle card to represent you, and an animal oracle card to represent your crush. So let's see what animal oracle card is going to represent this person for the Heliodor pile for group 4. This card wants to come out. Cheetah. Wow. And what card wants to come out for their crush? This one's looking... Sea serpent. Wow. Okay, let's put these over here. Then we're going to pull some love story oracle cards to represent your energies towards each other. This feels just right off the bat, yeah, I didn't even have to say it. It feels right off the bat like a hookup or a passionate connection or something that's very steamy and spicy. So we'll see if this gets long lasting, but I definitely see the reason you're kind of attracted to this person is for their, you know, sexy side. So let's see what you get with the, yeah, it's like right as I thought it, those cards flipped out. Wow. Yeah, so let's get your Light Seers tarot cards, and we will see what is in the cards for both of you and your connection. Yeah, because with this, the cheetah and the sea serpent represents the sacral chakra, and the cheetah just represents like a very fast moving kind of predator animal. And so I'm definitely seeing there's kind of an element where there's a sense of both of you have the hots for each other. There could be a thing where you guys have hooked up already, and you've kind of have had kind of more intimate moments already together. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what the reading says. I would say that if, you know, well, let me flip over the tarot. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself. Let me flip over the cards. You have the Death card, the Knight of Wands in reverse, Temperance in reverse, Sea Serpent. We have the Queen of Wands in reverse, the Fool in reverse, and the Nine of Wands upright. This is a very interesting connection because there's a few things that all these reverse cards could represent. One thing that I'm thinking for a lot of you is that there's going to be a lot of role playing in your connection. And what do I mean by that? It's just that you're not going to be sharing your true feelings with each other. Especially we see that here with the Nine of Wands. Even in the longest term of this connection, there's something about not wanting to share how you really feel and think about your partner. And it's interesting because I don't see any of you guys ever sharing that aspect of yourself. It's almost like you're two hotties that kind of want to keep your feelings to yourselves, and you don't want to like share what, how do I put this? It's like you don't want to like break down those barriers to share what's going on. It's like you kind of guys, both of you guys kind of like know what this is, and you're kind of like okay with it, you know? Yeah, with the Cheetah card and the Sea Serpent. So first, the Sea Serpent person is a sacral chakra person, and the thing is, for you, Cheetah person, for person A, this person is so good at what they do. They're so adaptable at what they do. This person can literally hook up with anyone and make it a great time for them. This person's just kind of good at what they do. This person may have, in the past, have had more than one partner, you know, and with you, they definitely like your fast-paced energy. You know, that's something that they really like. And something about you being fast-paced and quick at what you are, like how you operate, you know. There's something about passion and a spark. Like there's some kind of really intense connection that governs and solidifies this kind of connection. It's interesting. We have the Knight of Wands here that even though she's looking at this, she's looking kind of hesitantly down at you, you know, she still is holding the wand with the flame on top of it, right? Indicating that spark, that even though your guys are kind of eyeing each other suspiciously and you kind of are into each other, but you still have that eye on each other, like, I don't know what to make of this person, you know? The spark is still there. There's no denying the passion. There's no denying the spark. There's no denying the connection. And it's not necessarily uncomfortable. I just see right off the bat, like after the first encounter, the thing is, a lot of you have already like hooked up with this person, or you've kind of had a romantic experience with them that was very, very addicting, right? And I definitely see with the Death card in reverse here, there's something about being very addicted to your person, and also with the fact that the face is missing in the hood, right? And it's just nature behind this hood. It's just indicating to me that you kind of don't think it goes deeper than that. Like you're kind of addicted to the passion and the spark of the connection, but you don't really feel like, you know, this person probably doesn't get deeper than this, right? Like this person probably doesn't have like a deeper side to them, or has like a personality that I would get along with. There's something where you guys kind of know what it is, and that's kind of just how it is, you know? But I definitely see you're really addicted to it at first, but you keep it to yourself. There's something about not letting on. You don't want to let on, or you don't want to like let them know how good the connection is in the intimate spheres, right? You don't want to let them know how good or how physically attracted you are to them, right? There's something about keeping that to yourself. For them, on the other hand, with the Queen of Wands, they are playing kind of like the dominant role. Queen of Wands for me is my Leo card. You even see the cat here in this card. So they're playing the more one that has the ego, the more dominant one. They're kind of showing off that they have this kind of proud side to them, that they are good at what they do. They are kind of like special in that regard, and they're aware of that. But it's almost like with the Queen of Wands being in reverse, they do doubt it sometimes. They do doubt the fact that they are kind of like as hot as they think as other people perceive them to be, right? They kind of doubt, they kind of are like, maybe I'm not as cracked up as other people think I am, you know? The truth is they just have that little doubt in their head, right? And with the Queen of Wands representing that, it's representing them being more like introverted about those doubts. They're not going to share their weaknesses. I don't see either of you sharing your weaknesses in this pile. This is definitely one of those groups where it's like, you both actually may be very similar to each other. And that's probably why it works, because you're very focused on the passion, the spark. You're very both passionate individuals, but there's less of a sense of communication of the emotional sort in this connection. There's more of like, especially with the fire signs, we have the Queen of Wands, the Temperance, the Knight of Wands. It's all fiery energy except for the Death card, which is this kind of reverse of this Scorpio, like keeping this a Scorpio addicted kind of energy to yourself. So let's continue on with the reading. When you guys progress further on in the situation, this person realizes they start to feel free on an internal level. There's something about them feeling like freedom on an internal level where they have freedom within their own mind. You can see the sea serpent kind of circling around and biting its own tail, right? This person definitely attacks themselves all the time, especially with this energy right here with the Queen of Wands. They definitely have this doubt about themselves, or they kind of are critical about themselves and about their abilities. With the Fool card here, they're totally surrendering. They're kind of thinking like, this connection is totally, first of all, the connection is validating them, right? And it's doing something to their inner world of like letting them be free, letting themselves have kind of the ability to kind of think clearly and have an empty mind, empty head. And even right here with the Cheetah card for you, basically I see with this woman beating a drum, your heart on an internal level is just beating faster and faster and faster. And I even see this moment where this person kind of talks to you, or is kind of like, whoa, like they feel your chest or something. And they're like, whoa, your heart is beating out of control. But you don't want to let on still. You don't want to let on that you actually like them or have feelings for them. You know, you guys are kind of just keeping it what it is. I feel like for a lot of you, you do share that you're attracted to each other. That's not like a question. You're both sharing that like you're attracted to each other. If you guys are having sex, the sex is good. The passion is good. The intimate moments are good. You both are sharing those situations with those feelings with each other as far as that goes. But deeper emotions, I don't really see it being expressed really. With the Nine of Wands card, this is a card about boundaries and not expressing your feelings and kind of keeping things to yourself and being hesitant to open up. So I'm definitely seeing here that there's something about not wanting to open up fully with this person. You don't really know who they are, what they're about. So a lot of this is interesting because as a tarot reader, that kind of energy doesn't give me a lot to read off of for the external situation, but it's like what I'm getting is like everything going on inside your guys' heads, so that's kind of like an interesting thing. So basically your heart starts beating really faster. You feel really more playful. I definitely see you feel more playful, and that could leak out in the connection or the intimate moments. You might feel more playful and more expressive with your intimate side. What I'm seeing here, when they feel more free and you're feeling more playful, when the relationship gets to a longer term standpoint, right? This person that is your crush is going to have a more open viewpoint. How do I put this? Not that they're going to share with you, it's that they have a more open perspective about being blocked off, right? They're going to be telling you like, you know what, I don't want to be emotionally available, or I don't want to express feelings, or I don't want to, they start really getting into this mode of like how they don't want to be, right? They don't want to open up their heart again. They don't want to share. They don't want to connect. It's kind of like that. With the Temperance card here, it's indicating that on one hand, you feel these light and dark tendencies within them, It's almost like there's been so much suppressed energy, so many suppressed thoughts, so much suppressed stuff that in the end, you start getting this psychic window open into their personality. personality, right? Which leads them to put up these active walls of defense against you, you know? This is where the relationship could split up. I'm definitely seeing that this kind of has a way of, this kind of connection could fizzle out with spark and passion. But this kind of physical connection, I mean, it could last a while as long as you guys don't find anything else that's emotionally fulfilling. I definitely see that for some of you, if you find a connection that's besides this person that really lets you explore your emotions and your feelings, it's going to be so much better than this connection, just because you're going to feel that sense of freedom. You know, they do feel this sense of freedom in their mind, but they still will not open up. They get really adamant about this point later on, you know, especially when you start to feel balanced, you start to feel maybe like I can open up, or maybe I'm seeing things, or maybe I'm knowing things about this person. You know, they're going to keep their walls up. They're going to keep guarded. It's interesting. You guys are very physically attracted to each other, but I don't see you guys trusting each other fully. That's something that's coming through. Like, I don't see you guys trusting each other enough to open up like that. This was a quicker reading. I kind of want to look at it again real quick right now and see if there's anything else I can see. Yeah, with the Temperance card, you guys might have a really nice sense of balance in the end. Like, you might have really worked out a schedule that works for you as far as like when you're going to meet up, when you're going to, you know, hook up. Like, for most of you, I'm seeing this as more of like a hookup situation, or someone that you're kind of intimate about. I don't see this really progressing in a more emotional sphere or getting into a sense of commitment or something where, like, I feel like if you guys are committed, it's committed on the physical level, and that's it. Like, you guys know that you're the only other one this person's hooking up with or something like that, and you guys leave it at that. But for the most part, I just see this as a very passionate, kind of intense connection. There's a strong spark between both of you. Yeah, it's interesting. With this Queen of Wands energy over here, with her and all these candles, I'm definitely seeing there's something about this person might be a bit of a player when you first meet them. Like, they might be all over the place. Like, they might have a lot of suitors or something like that when they first kind of interacting with them. But they kind of, with the Fool card, they kind of surrender into this energy. So there is, I feel like there is a sense of like a physical commitment with both of you, like kind of just keeping to yourselves, you know? Yeah, they bring out your inner sense of playfulness. I feel like for you, on your inner mind, you might be having all these brilliant creative thoughts, but too scared to share them with this person. You know, especially in this Knight of Wands period, you might be having all these creative thoughts, ideas, stuff like that, but too scared to share them. And they might be feeling this freedom on an internal level, like their mind is clear, but they don't dare share that with you. I feel like there's a sense of being guarded, or not wanting to be hurt, or not wanting to be taken advantage of in this connection. That's gonna kind of, I'm gonna be honest, it seems like it's always gonna be present. With the Temperance card, it's interesting because there's almost like little things leaking out in that you're going to be aware of in the end, that's going to kind of lead you to think the connection's opening up. But it's really just because two people with their walls up like that, like all the time, stuff's going to leak out. Like, you can't have your walls up like 100% of the time, all like for that long, without something leaking out, right? Like, without kind of picking up some kind of psychic debris on some kind of feeling or something like that, you know? But I definitely see you guys are on the same page in that department. So this is definitely a connection where if you want something like that and you're okay with not opening up, and that's just the connection you want, this is going to be the connection for you. So yeah, if you like this reading, feel free to like or comment below. If you really enjoyed this reading, feel free to subscribe to my channel. I post pick-a cards like this once every 1 to 2 weeks. With that said, we're going to move on to the end of the reading. There's no more piles. Yeah, we're going to end the reading here. We're going to end all the readings here. Thank you for letting me read for you. I really enjoyed this pick-a-card today. And I will see you guys in other pick-a-cards and on the channel. Bye.